Hey guys, this is Stephane Pickard. Here with Guitar Control. I'm going to teach you guys a little bit about fingerstyle guitar today. So I'm going to make sure that you guys can see me. I'm using a different guitar today, so it's more in the vein of it. Not an actual classical, but it's pretty close. So let me know that you guys can see me and we'll get started. So we're going to talk about just how to approach it. I'll give you a few examples from different songs and how to kind of get started. So some will be a little easier and some will be a little harder, but it'll be a lot of fun. So I'm just going to make sure you guys are there. Awesome. Cool. Awesome. So grab your guitars. I hope you can hear it on the acoustic. I know it might be a little bit lower, so let me know. And I chose a couple of different examples. So I want to talk to you guys about what fingers to use and kind of the approach that I take. So let's make sure. Awesome. Okay, cool. So let me make sure you can see me. A couple examples that I did are some folky ones, a little bit of Metallica, and then another cool example that I've learned. So whenever I'm using fingerstyle guitar, after a while you can kind of blend whatever you like, you can kind of just mess around and, do interesting things and just kind of arpeggiate chords. So it's just a different technique and a different approach. There's obviously ways to take it way further too when you see like crazy guitar players. But for now, we're just going to kind of get started in what the approach is. So what I'm doing is I'm using my thumb as kind of a bass. So I'm always kind of starting off with that. Sometimes I'm picking two notes at once. And the way that I do that is I have my thumb resting. So right now I'm just doing an A minor. So just a normal A minor, I place my pointer on the second string, first fret. I take my middle finger and I place it on the fourth string, second fret, and ring finger right under. And if I was strumming, I would strum from the fifth string down. But in this case, I'm just plucking two strings together. I'm plucking the fifth string and the second. So that's pretty simple, right? And the way that I'm plucking them is my thumb is kind of pushing the string down while my middle finger, so we're going to go thumb, index, or pointer. I'll call it pointer. Middle finger, ring finger, and pinky, right? So thumb, pointer, I guess index because we have our pinky. But I'm not going to use my pinky as much. So thumb, index, middle, ring, and pinky. So I use my thumb on the fifth string going down, right? And then I use my middle finger kind of pushing up. And I do that at the same time. So the movement is kind of pinching towards each other. And when we do that, we pluck the notes and we get some sustain and they ring out, right? Then I just did. So what I'm doing is I'm moving my thumb down after that. So I pluck together, then. So together, then I use my pointer, my index, on the third string. Then I used my thumb on the fourth string. So that's our first little movement. So together, third string with my index, then I brought my thumb down to the fourth string. So after that, I just go, and that's much easier, right? So it's just repetitive. So after a little movement, I go second string, third string, fourth string, and I just keep doing that. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then I would start it over. The more comfortable you get, the faster you can go. But again, so on the second string, I used my middle. On the third string, I used my index. And on the fourth string, I had brought down my thumb. So you got to get good at moving your thumb because I'm moving it kind of back and forth from whatever my lowest note is currently at that time. So, and apply it to any chord you want. So all I did right there was move from an A minor to a C major. And an A minor to a C major is a super easy move. If you've been playing for a while, you probably know. It's just one note is different. So I take my ring finger and I remove it from being right under my middle to coming out on the fifth string, third fret. And I still strum from the fifth string down. So that's why that's a pretty easy transition. But that cool little together part is pretty awesome. So let's make sure you guys can see me and we're all good. And thank you guys for sending these topics. They're a lot of fun. So I'm glad we're all awesome. Cool. Looks like we are good. I was going to show you guys the Unforgiven. I think this is a really good example. It's pretty easy. It's also using an A minor, but it's using an alteration too, because we're going to do that A minor I just showed you, but we're going to lift our pointer and also bring it down. So this is what you hear in the background of this song. So first, in the Metallica song, this is the Unforgiven fingerstyle. So I pick the 5th string and the 2nd open. So this is a 16th note rhythm, 16th note rhythm, and the first one is just an 8th note. So it's 1 E and So you go 1 E, and So on that and I went from using my thumb and my middle finger, right, to my pointer on the 3rd string, and then I brought my thumb down to the 4th. So it goes 1 E and 1 E and So just get used to that, because this is a totally different approach. If you haven't played fingerstyle, if you have, this is probably pretty easy, but if you haven't, it's just a whole different approach to the guitar if you're used to using a pick. So together, 1 E and Then we're just going to do straight 16th notes. We go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So that would be the complete part that we would repeat over and over and over. So like this, 1 E and 2 E and So there we're just doing the same thing. They fall in different spots because we're not using an even number. So it goes 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So on the E of 4, so when I count 16th notes, I go 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and because that divides the beat into 4 separate parts, right? 1 E and So in 8th notes we say 1 and. So now that's only 2 because 8th notes are 2, and dividing it in half, and now we're dividing it in fourths. So 1 E and or quarters, sorry. It would be 1 over 4. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So on that E of 4, I bring down my pointer to complete the A minors. So like this: 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and then it goes over and over and over. So just so you can see me, let's make sure that you can see my hand really well. So the sorry, I always have to figure this out. So 1 E and so 1 E and make sure you can get the whole guitar if you can. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and So you see when my pointer comes down, and just to focus on my hand, I go 1 together, so really it should be able to sound whole. Right, so I'm moving from thumb and middle, sorry, to pointer or index, thumb. And I'm kind of planting my pinky on the body of the guitar just to give myself, a little bit more structure, like leverage. I can kind of hold on, and my hand stays really even. So for me, that helps. For you, you might like having nothing. Similar to picking, there's about 3 different ways, right? You can have a closed fist, an open fist, or a planted finger. Sorry. So that's a pretty fun example. It's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and then just repeat. All right, I'm going to check in on you guys and see how you're doing with that one. So remember, I'm going to teach for about 30 minutes, and then I'll do an open Q&A. So let me check on you guys. Thank you. All right, let's see. Yep, it's the intro to Unforgiven. So awesome. I'm glad you guys are hanging out. Thank you for checking out Tuesday too. I appreciate it. I'm going to give you guys a special discount code for hanging out with me. And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing new videos every day, myself and other instructors, ranging from anything from exercises to songs to all the things that you guys have been asking us. So we're listening to what you guys are saying, and we're coming out with new videos. And this specific discount code is just something really cool that I really think is awesome and very important. This is all about playing from your heart. So this is our Killer Guitar Control Secrets. It's all about playing from your heart, which is really cool because it's more about just learning other people's music, right? You want to learn your own music. So you want to learn what's in your head and get it out of your hands. So this is going over technique, this is going over fretboard knowledge, and this is going over, if you guys can't hear, I might just have to pull my electric, but I'll try and play a little bit louder for those of you that can't hear. But I know it is hard with the acoustic through here, especially with finger picking. So let's see. All right, so sorry, this is all about playing from your heart. This is about, I said technique, fretboard knowledge, and hand-brain connection. So it's getting what's in your brain out of your hands. And this is really focusing on how people become who they want to be, right? Yourself. This is like, how did Eric Clapton become Eric Clapton? How did Jimi Hendrix get the sounds that were in his head and create a new sound? So a lot of guitar magazines and information that you find on the internet is all about teaching you how to play like other people. And this is focusing on playing like you. So for me, that was when I had one of my biggest breakthroughs. It was when I started playing like myself. And, you know, not being scared about messing up and experimenting and finding cool sounds. And, you know, that being said, when you do learn from other people, try and take those things and combine them into your own unique techniques. You know, you don't want to sound just like Zakk Wylde because he already exists. So why not say you like his pinch harmonics and mix it with something else? Maybe you like the kind of funkiness that you get from Jimi Hendrix, or the bluesiness, the blues rock you get from Jimmy Page. You know, just take things that you like from other people and mix them into yourself. But this DVD is very cool, and it's all about learning how to play like you. So check this out. You should have it in YouTube and on Facebook. I pinned it to the top. So that's for hanging out with me today. It's a special discount code, and I will be back on Tuesday with a new subject that you guys have sent in. So all these subjects these month are from you guys. So thank you so much. These are all specific ones that you guys sent. So I really appreciate it. Awesome. Cool. So this next example is a little bit harder, and then I'll give you more of a folky example. So this example, I have to make sure I can say it right, but it's from Isaac Albanese, and it's from Austria. Oh my gosh, Austria's. I can't say it, but I can play it, so that's cool. So this one's a little bit harder. The cool thing about it is it's only using 2 fingers, so that's why I wanted to show you guys this one, but it sounds really cool. And it's a little challenging because you really have to lift your fingers, but let me show it to you. So I'm going to the 7th fret on the 5th string with my pointer. Then I'm gonna I have one note in common, which is, you know, we usually refer to this as pedaling. I'm gonna be pedaling off of this open 2nd string. So it's always happening. That's what a pedaled note is when I go to one note and then I keep coming back to a repetitive note. It can either start on the note that you're repeating, or it will be the 2nd note, but in between everything, there will be this open B string. So I go from 7, then I'm gonna take my ring finger and put it on the 4th string and the 9th fret. So I go, so I'll play you the melody kind of first. So you know that there's that open note now. I go 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10. Right? So, sorry. So let's work on that really quick. And every time I'm playing the lower note, the changing note, I'm using my thumb. So every time I'm picking, right? But I'm moving with my pointer, ring, pinky, dropping my pointer, ring, then bringing my pinky up to the 5th string. So I'm changing between the 5th and 4th strings, but I'm still just using my thumb to pick those notes. And then I'm picking that open B string. So I'm going, so just the melody. So get used to that first, and then you're going to want to bring in that note. So right, thumb, so you're using your thumb the whole time, so I'll tell you what notes you're using in your fretting hand. So pointer or index, right? So index, ring, pinky, drop your index, ring, pinky on the 5th string. So let me check that really quick. and hopefully you guys get a second. Okay, let me see. I guess it's a little bit quiet. I'll try and turn this up in the program. Okay, let me know if this got a little louder right now. So let me know if you guys can hear that. Sorry, I was told it is a little quiet. It's hard for me to hear on this end, because obviously it's loud for me. All right. So go ahead and let me know if it's louder. Okay, sorry, I know it's louder. Awesome, thank you, Caleb. Facebook is delayed, so it's always hard to know what you guys can hear me. Thank you for typing so I can. Okay, cool. Awesome. I think it's better. So let me know if you guys can hear it, and great. All right. Cool. I'm going to turn it up to the max volume here, so let me know. It's obviously a lot clearer when it's electric, but I'll fix that for next time. So let me know that you guys can hear me. I'm sure it wouldn't be exciting to watch me change everything. All right, so let's go over that example again now that you can hear me. So I was using my thumb, right, on the 5th and 4th strings, and I'm using my middle finger to keep opening, or to keep picking the open note, right? So I just want to make sure you guys can hear everything okay. So let's go over that little melody. So I'm going 5th string, pointer, index finger on the 7th fret, ring finger on the 9th fret, 4th string, pinky on the 10th fret, 4th string. Then I'm going to drop my pointer just down 1 string. Now to the 4th string. Then I'm going to pick my ring finger on the 9th fret, 9th fret, 4th string again. And then I take my pinky and put it on the 5th string, 10th fret. So that's going to be the hard part. Just because when you get that open B, you really have to keep that finger really, really arched. So that's really important. And, you know, the classical way to hold the guitar is really to have a foot stand. I have one right now, actually. Is to have a foot stand to kind of prop yourself up. Foot stand looks like this. So those are really awesome. They're also good if you're short. I'm short, so I like them just for normal practice. But they're like $10 at a guitar store. They're awesome. But that's the proper way, is to actually have the guitar kind of on your knee. So that's what the arch of the guitar is for. So you rest it on your knee and you have it more up, like you would, not like you would when you're playing electric or playing live. So cool. Let's go ahead and go over that, and let me show you. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Thank you for letting me know. It's always really helpful. So now I'm adding in that note, right? And again, with that kind of mentality of when I'm using my thumb, I'm pressing down, I'm pushing down to get the noise. And when I'm using my middle finger, I'm kind of plucking up, right? So almost like a down pick and an up pick. So let's try that. So throwing everything in all together now. So awesome. Jordan says he puts his foot on his dog. That's pretty funny. My dog is really small. That would crush her. Cool. Headphones apparently help with the sound, but it's louder, so it should help now. Cool. All right. So let's try that all together. So I'm just pedaling back and forth. I think this example is really fun because it's really cool sounding, right? So I know it's pretty quiet with the acoustic, but hopefully you guys can hear that. This example is very fun, just 2 fingers, but we're getting that really cool, I don't know, kind of fun sound. So I really like this example too. The last example I had is more of a song. I like this song too. I've taught it a lot over the years, and it's Home by Phillips. I don't know how many of you have heard it, but it's a really easy song to teach and play because it's really just 2 chords pretty much the whole time. It's a C and an F2. So it's just an F. Like we're missing a note, so I'm going to show it to you really quick. But it has one little change part, but seriously, most of the song you could get away with playing just this part. So it goes. And it's pretty cool. I use this a lot when I'm introducing kids to finger picking because they know the song and they like the song, and it's just a slight movement with your chords, right? And the picking stays the same. So it's just learning one picking pattern and slightly changing, but it sounds really cool and it changes up, the whole song sounds different. So let's check that one out as our last example. And then I'll answer some questions, and then I will see you next week. So here we go. I'm going ahead and I'm making this C major. So I showed you that earlier too. We take our ring finger and we place it on the 5th string, 3rd fret. I take my middle finger and place it on the 4th string, 2nd fret, and my pointer is on the first fret, 2nd string. So strumming all the way down. And then when I do that chord change, all that I'm doing is replacing the note I'm holding with my middle finger to my pinky. So I'm moving it up a half step, but I'm using my pinky to grab it so I can move. Will only hear one. So it's really easy, really helpful to just leave it there. I mean, you could, pick it up, but it's kind of a waste. I always like to do whatever I can that has the least amount of movement because I think I've said this before. It's like an athlete, a swimmer does a lot of things just to get a little bit of an edge, just to be a little bit faster, right? So why not apply the same mentality to your guitar playing? So it just makes it a lot easier. So first, I'm going to use my thumb to just get my first note, so on the 5th string. Then I'm going to go ahead and pick 2 notes together. So thumb on the 5th string, this is the C major. Then I use my thumb again to pick the 4th string, and I use my middle finger to pick the 2nd string at the same time. So I go thumb, then thumb and middle. So from the 5th string only to the 4th and 2nd together, back to the 5th string. So. And then I just have this quick little part, right? So I go thumb only, together, back to thumb, and then I go pointer or index. So the pointer on the 3rd string, and then thumb on the 4th. So I go. So let's do that one more time since it's just a slight change. So thumb on the 5th string, remember making a C major, so thumb only. Then I use my thumb and my middle together, and I pluck them kind of pinching towards one another in unison. Back to thumb, then index on the 3rd string, so back to thumb on the 5th string. So it was. So you just want to get good at jumping that thumb around, right? Back and forth. So keeping your fingers really close to where you are. You don't want to lift your hand up really far away. Then index, open 3rd, then thumb again on the 4th, and then you just repeat. So it's 2 times per chord. Then I'm going to go ahead and place my pinky down for the change. So remember, I'm replacing the note that I'm holding for the C with my middle finger now on the 3rd fret, 4th string. But it's cool how different it does sound in that same picking. So thumb only on the 5th string, thumb and middle together. So back to thumb, and then 3rd string by itself with my pointer, my index finger, thumb on the 4th string. So back and forth. And that's it for that example. All right, I'm going to check how we're doing on time. Checking on you guys for a second. Oh gosh. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to refresh Facebook. And again, thank you guys for checking these out. I will be back Tuesday with a new topic at 7 Central, the same exact time, and Thursday. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, always with a new topic that you guys have sent in. So again, leave topics and comments in these videos and let us know other things that you want to learn. You never know. It could show up in a live stream. It could show up in a video. We are doing videos all the time. So, we have at least 1 to 2 a day for myself and other teachers. So make sure you check those out. I'm going to give you guys a special discount code too. So also subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. It's just youtube.com/guitar control. Again, myself and others doing new videos all the time from anything. I mean, we've done metal, we've done rockabilly, we've done country, we've done everything you can think of. So we're listening to your guys' requests. We really appreciate them. I'm going to throw in this link too. And when you get to YouTube, if you click that bell, you get our notifications. So you'll get a little notification when we have a new video up, and you should check them out. And also this link. So I've talked about this a little bit before, but this is for our killer guitar control secrets. And again, this is what I did that really stuck out for me. So just learning how to have my own voice on the guitar to me was major. So I'm going to put this here for you, because you don't really want to sound like anybody else. I mean, it can be tempting when you hear Hendrix and all these really awesome players, but really this is about getting what's in your head out through your hands. So all the, learn how to be you. So let me go ahead and send this to you. Yeah, so great. Yes, please send in your questions. So that link will be there for you guys. This will be going over tons of different things. We're going to go over techniques. So, all the, it's going to be hard on acoustic for all the speed picking and stuff. I know someone asked if I could move it closer so you can hear better. So techniques are speed picking like I just did, pinch harmonics, their hammer and pull off, tapping, I mean anything. These are all techniques, right? So that will all be covered. Fretboard knowledge, knowing your scales, your chords, your arpeggios, other things that we've also kind of covered, and then your hand-brain connection. So getting what's in your head out of your hands. So really trying to find how to be you. That's really what this is all about. This is for players that want that. So again, this isn't something that I know when I was learning and just starting out, this isn't something that's really addressed. And so it's very cool to have the chance to do that. So check that out, and that's a special discount code for you guys for hanging out with me today. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I think we are almost done. So for those of you that were saying you couldn't hear some examples, I can move the camera closer too if that helped. So let's check this out. All right, let's see. So cool. So yes, check that out. That's your discount for hanging out with me. So I really appreciate it. So again, those examples were the Phillips. So that's just with the C and then to the F. So it's right. And that other cool example was going on the 5th string, 7. Sorry, my hand looks all weird. So it goes, I think that's a kind of distorted angle. Let me see. So 7, I know this doesn't have fret markers. So 7th fret, 5th string, just doing our melody. We're going to pedal off the open 2nd string to the 4th string, 9th fret, moving my thumb to pick that. 10th fret, same string, drop my pointer to the 4th string now. Then again to the 9th fret with my ring finger. Back to the 5th string with my pinky. So then you really need to arch it though so you can get that open 2nd string. So that was that example. And then our Metallica, and then if you want to see the chords, that was just moving from an A minor, an open, so lifting your pointer, and then going, and then putting down your minor 3rd. And that picking pattern was just going like this. So thumb on the 5th and 2nd strings, with my pointer up that time, and then pointer, thumb, so 3rd string, 4th string, and then going 2, 3, 4, middle, index, thumb, and then repeating that. And then on the E, so we were talking about 16th notes, on the E of 4, so 4, E, and then starting over. Awesome. So hopefully that helps. Thank you guys for checking this out. So it's all about just learning how to kind of use our hands and remember applying these to different chords. So having fun with it. So maybe tonight take a song that you know that has some simple chords and try using a finger picking pattern. You can create your own. So just making the shape, and instead of arpeggiating it, we have sweep arpeggios and we have ways to arpeggiate it with a pick. Instead of getting this softer sound. And seeing if you like any of that on some songs you already know. So I'll answer some questions. Again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys checking this out, and I will be back on Tuesday, same time. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Dwayne, I had a really bad injury too, and I was told I would never play fast again. I was so heartbroken. I thought I was never going to play guitar again. So I think it's cool. Dwayne said his left hand was paralyzed twice, and he's had to learn to play all over again twice, and that he must like playing. That I think you do too. And sometimes you come back even better. So for me, it made me really pay attention to my technique, and I actually became faster at guitar than I used to be. And so, never listen to stuff like that. I think Django Reinhardt can play with 3 fingers, and Jason Becker can write albums still with Lou Gehrig's disease. Anything is possible. And so for me, that was something really helpful when I was injured. So if any of you are injured, it really helped me to look at players like that, because I was so just heartbroken. I thought I was never going to play again, and it's, my favorite thing to do. And so when I looked at Jason Becker and people like that, I thought, wow, I'm actually very lucky, and my situation could be a lot harder. So I think taking an approach and slowly getting better and better, just like you do at anything. But it is hard to relearn. It's hard to get over having to relearn something that you already know. But that's awesome. It definitely takes time. Oh, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see. Awesome. So go ahead and send in your questions now. And again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/guitar control. There's even folders full of just different videos. So there's tons of playlists of just all the lessons that I've done, all the lessons that Robert and John have done, all the other teachers, new videos every day. So at least seriously 1 to 2. And then these live streams will also be on YouTube, so you can check them out again, and Facebook. All right, let's see. So I'm going to try and check in on Facebook. I always have to refresh you guys. I'm sorry. And again, if I don't answer a question, go ahead and ask it again, because sometimes it goes by and I'm not able to get to it. But yeah, that's crazy. Being injured was really hard, but you can definitely come back and be way, way better. So it just takes patience. I remember when I was injured, I was at MI, and I asked Paul Gilbert, because I used to pick really odd, like kind of like maybe like the Marty Friedman style, like this, which is a lot of tension, and it doesn't really look like it's easy on you, And Marty does it, and he's never been injured, and he's great, so he should just keep doing it. But for me, it really ended up injuring me, and I had to learn how to have better technique and get my arm all in a line and just really relax playing. And I remember Paul Gilbert was at my school, and I asked him, because he used to do the same thing, and I was like, well, what did you do, and how did you get, how did you not get hurt? He just said, well, when it hurt, I stopped playing, and I felt so dumb. And he didn't mean it like that, but it is true, because I remember I heard somebody act like, oh, you have to play through the pain and all this stuff, and you definitely don't. There's a difference between when you're first starting out and your muscles are sore, just similar to working out, but if you're like hurting, you need to stop, and it's not playing through the pain, because you can seriously get injured, and that's not worth it. I'd rather, not play for 30 minutes than not play for like months like I had to when I got injured. So I would definitely cool it if you can. And yes, check out that discount code. Also leave topics for these videos and other videos. A surf rock lesson, that would be cool. All right, let's see. Who is my main influence as a guitar player? Let's see. It always changes. I would say, like, my biggest transition would probably be when I was first starting, was when I started getting into Hendrix and Cream and Band of Gypsies and Led Zeppelin. That was my first major huge change, because I just kind of learned guitar because my dad suggested I learn a couple chords, because I was writing vocals and poems and songs, and I wanted to sing. And my dad just suggested, why don't you learn a couple chords? And at the time, I kind of liked Blink-182 and pop punk and stuff. And then I started playing guitar. It wasn't what I liked to play on guitar as much. And so I really liked Kurt Cobain then, and then I really liked the challenge of my dad was next guitar player, I want to do that, and I loved the challenge of that. So that was a huge breakthrough for me. And my next breakthrough was with metal guitar, was with Children of Bodom. And then my next breakthrough from that was probably Paul Gilbert, Steve Vai, all those shred guys. So Tony McAlpine. Once I found those kind of guitar players, that's what I really liked. And then now my biggest breakthroughs are, playing with people that are much different than myself. Like I worked in a studio where I was recording music for television. I had to really think outside the box. And then in my spare time, I'd want to do all my shred stuff. And I play a lot with my fiance. And I think I've said it before, we do like Instagram videos and stuff. And it's really fun. And we take songs like, I don't know, a Halloween song and make it like a shred song. And he was in a band that was much more creative sonically than the stuff that I do. I was more nerdy shred stuff. And he was making all these crazy sounds and really diving into effects and just manipulating sounds and recording and creating all these crazy dissonant sounds that were much outside of the box to my playing. And I think that's been my biggest breakthrough and influence lately is I'm like, hey, wait, I want to do that. That's awesome, and breaking away from kind of more structured stuff and being creative again and diving into that. So he's probably Stephen Bradley, you are my biggest influence now. So I think also I remember having a similar experience when I was younger. This girl was my friend, and she came over, and she was like way better than me, and I just had started, and I was like, oh my gosh, what? Like, I want to do that. And I think not being competitive in a negative way, but being inspired by other people is a really good thing. So jamming with people is really key. I think it's really important to kind of push yourself. I can't get one of those guitars because I'm sponsored by a different company, but that would be cool. Donnie's asking how I got injured playing guitar. I got injured from over practicing. I had this big audition, and it's so silly at the time, but I was not mature yet, and so I was playing only lead stuff really, and my rhythm guitar playing was okay, but it wasn't anywhere near my lead guitar playing. And I remember one of my teachers in school telling me that and was like, hey, your rhythm guitar playing is like, it's good, but your lead guitar playing is so much better than it that it doesn't sound very good, and you really need to even out yourself, because I wasn't paying as much attention to it. I didn't find it as interesting at the time, because I was just like a kid, and I thought like, oh, playing fast is cooler, and I don't care, and everything is, you should care about everything. But I had a really big audition, and it was a ton of really fast chords and really fast rhythm parts, and just using those muscles for that long. And I guess my personality at the time was not, I got too like obsessed with learning everything by overdoing it and not thinking about taking a break. So I'd practice these songs just over and over, like relentlessly, and I ended up hurting myself. It shouldn't have been such a long injury. I ended up going to a doctor that didn't really help me. That kind of hurt me. And so it really should have been a much shorter injury, but I ended up getting tendonitis in both my wrists. And so that's when your tendon here is swollen and you have another tendon that goes across, and it's kind of like a watch. And when they're swollen like that, you just need to rest because they're pressing against that band. So a lot of times you'll have to get surgery, but I did not get surgery. I ended up having to rest for kind of a long time and getting some cortisone shots, which I also don't recommend, but it worked for me eventually. So I got a really small one from a really good doctor, but it should have just been resting. So the lesson is just rest. That's what I would do. Any tips for remembering songs to play? I would say try to see patterns and try and see things as parts, because a lot of songs too, they're formatted, right? So try to just understand the cues in the song too, especially the vocal cues or the drum pattern or anything like that, and just learning how many times things go by and seeing patterns. So it depends on the song, but I would say, obviously I just said I practiced these songs like a crazy person. I would practice them over and over, but not like I was doing for hours like that. But I would definitely try to see patterns. That's how my brain works, at least. That's awesome. Oh, thanks, MacMatt. Oh my gosh. Oh, Dwayne, I'm so sorry. That is awful. Yeah. But I think it is good to always just, take a look back and see that your situation might not be as bad as it could be. So working towards your goals day by day. But yes, for remembering songs, I had a teacher once too that would make us play things 8 times in a row perfect. And if you messed up, you'd have to restart over. So that's also kind of a good thing. Sometimes it's really frustrating. I know my students don't really appreciate it very much, but it can be a good thing too. So, and also giving yourself a break. Sometimes when just you're just like being relentless, like how I was, it's almost healthier mentally to just take a break, even for a day or a weekend, and then come back to it. But I mean, I do play every day, so I say most of the time. So I would say if you're like stressing out, just step away from it for a little while and come back. But tips would be seeing patterns and writing it out too. Sometimes when I write a chart, I actually don't even need to use my chart because just writing it helped. You know, like just sitting down and listening to the song all the way through and going, okay, that part happened 4 times and there was a slight change and then blah, you know, like making little notes on a piece of paper, just a super simple chart, that can really help. All right. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate that. I'm going to check one more time. Yeah. Do I prefer steel string or nylon? I don't actually play a ton of fingerstyle all the time. I did take a class on it and I do enjoy it, and I tend to use it more on steel string guitars because I usually am playing electric, but I do love my acoustic. I write a lot of my more singer-songwriter stuff on acoustic. I have a really cool nylon that I had out for you guys, but you were not going to hear it. It was just going to be so quiet. Not that this was louder. But I would say I would prefer nylon for fingerstyle, but I do prefer my acoustic most of the time, if that helps. That was a weird question. I'm so sorry. Okay. Is there some class? Could you show it still? Yeah, my nylon is cool. I can show it. It was my grandfather's from the 50s. Well, I think from the 50s. I don't know if he got it new, but it is a cool guitar. So it's very cool. It's like a Brazilian wood nylon guitar. It's a Gibson. So that is a very cool guitar. I'm lucky to have it. All right, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you guys checking these out again. So remember, check out that code. So it's a special discount code for you guys. I'm going to give it to you one more time. So thank you very much, and I will be back on Tuesday. This is Thursday, I think. Yeah, I'll be back on Tuesday. There you go, YouTube. Or, yes, YouTube. And Tom, there's not like specific for guitar. A lot of people ask if there's different terms or different things in all these different guitars. Like, I get asked these kind of questions a lot? Like, can you play the same things on an acoustic guitar that you can play on an electric guitar and things like that? They're still the same words and the same terms, at least for the most part. So don't worry too much about that kind of stuff. Music still has its own language, but there's different techniques and concepts that go with things, but not when they're that general. All right, and this is for Facebook. So thank you guys so, so much. I really, really appreciate it. Check out this link. This is for playing what's in your head and getting it out. So just to wrap this up, I will be back on Tuesday with a new topic that you guys sent in. So I really appreciate it. Please check out our YouTube, youtube.com/guitar control. Subscribe to us. You'll see playlists of me, Robert, John, everybody on there. And then also we have new videos coming up every single day. So these are topics that you guys have sent us. We really appreciate it. Please subscribe to our channel, click the bell, get our notifications, and check out the special discount code that I sent you guys. So thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll be back.